better organize our Maya files, we need to create something called a Maya project. A Maya project is basically a collection of folders that Maya can easily access to access your reference images, your scene files, and other things that you might want to put within this folder structure. By default, Maya has a project called the default project, and usually you don't want to use this. You want to create a new project for every new project you make. So let's first create a new scene. And now that I've opened that up, I can go to File and Project Window. When I click on this, you see that this folder structure opens up. Right now it's in the default project. This is in Documents and it's created when Maya is installed. If I want to create a new folder structure for myself, I'm going to click on New, and it's going to create that in the same place. It's going to create it within Documents. I can always change the location if I want to. I'm just going to leave it here for now, and I'm going to call this test project. So while naming Maya files or Maya folders, keep in mind that you either want to use underscores or you want to have no space between the names. This will come into play later as you work on more complex projects, but keep in mind that you don't want to have just a space. You want to have an underscore or no spaces between the words. So let's take a look at the folder structure. When this is created, we can delete folders if you want to, but we always want to make sure that we don't change the names of any of these folders. So the ones that we'll be using mostly in this class will be the scenes, the images, and the source images. So the scenes are for your scene files that we'll create. The source images are for all your reference images that you want to bring into Maya, or reference images that you are just looking at to better create your model. And you have images which we'll be using later on to get your final renders out. So these are the three folders we'll be using. We're just going to leave everything else in there in case we need it. Once I create this, nothing really happens within Maya, but if you go to the location that we saved this in, which is in Documents, you can see that it has created this new test folder. That test folder is within Maya, Projects, and here you have Test Project. So test project has the same folders that we just created. It also has this file called Workspace, and Workspace is basically a Maya file that saves any customizations you make within this project. So if you're working on anything, you customize something within Maya and you want to save it, it all automatically gets saved to this Workspace project, to this Workspace file. So how do you make sure that you're working within this project and not within the default? So every time you open Maya and you want to start working on the model that you're working on, go to File and go to Set Project. So when you click on that, it's going to open the Maya projects that you currently have, and you can say, click on Test Project, and it's going to ensure that you're working within this project. And you can save test project anywhere on your computer. It does not matter which folder you can save it in. You can always just go to you can go to File, Set Project, and access that project. So now we're working within test project. So if I try to save the scene, so I go to File, Save Scene, and you can see that we're within test project and we are within the scenes folder. So if you're on the project, Maya will by default save these files within this folder.